Let's talk about the Trump supporters that are losing their jobs. Last night I was out in Chicago and these three guys started talking to me and they were all from Naperville. And they asked what I did for work and I said, oh, like I make educational content. And the guy was like, oh, are you one of those like liberals? Like, are you one of those like lefties? And he was so serious. Like he just continued to like mock me and make fun of my content. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave this conversation. And he goes, yeah, it's because of you guys that my mom just lost her job. And I was intrigued. I was like, why did your mom lose her job? What did she do for work? And he goes, oh, well, she was in the military. She's a veteran, but then she was working at this office for the last few years and they just let her go. I look him dead in the face. I'm like, do you think your mom was a DEI hire? Because veterans are a protected class. And now that they don't have to hire her anymore, then they let her go. He goes, that's so true. He doesn't believe me. He looks it up and just the color just like drains from his face. And the guy with him was a research assistant after just graduating from university. And his position was just terminated because of lack of federal funding from the federal government, which is thanks to fucking Trump. So newsflash, DEI doesn't just mean black people. So in fact, what's happening on a federal level is going to affect you too. You aren't special just because you're white. Everyone's getting them. Okay, bye.
I'm seeing more and more people online saying, well, I voted for Trump, but I didn't vote to lose my job, and I didn't vote for a global trade war, and I didn't vote for Elon Musk to run amok in the government, slashing agencies and cutting jobs, and I didn't vote to see America's allies cast aside. Oh, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course you voted for that. You were perfectly happy to see all that happen as long as it didn't happen to you. And now that the leopard is eating your face, suddenly you've changed your tune. Well, you get no sympathy from me. You voted for that. You wanted that. So you sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. I don't care what happens to you. I just want you to feel the pain that you brought on yourself, because that is the only way you can learn.
I have an FAFO for a federal worker, a Trump supporter, and actually he's also a veteran. Did you know that a majority of veterans, federal workers, and military voted for Donald Trump? Even though he's been a draft dodger 5 times, well, I digress. Wait for this FAFO. It's almost like they're getting it. Let me know.
I was hoping he would did something that made sense regarding the economy, made some kind of progress in bettering, the benefits of being a veteran. But, I mean, it just seemed like he actually cared about doing what was best for the country, but now it just feels like all about me, Donald Trump, not, the guy out there working in the trenches.
I'm seeing more and more of these FAFOs every day, but you notice he didn't care until it affected him, and only about what's going on with him. Do you agree?
Sometimes political support can feel very different when economic struggle hits close to home. In this video, we'll look at some MAGA voters who say they are losing jobs, facing financial pressure, and beginning to question whether the economy is working the way they expected under President Trump. Let's watch some of these clips. Please don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Alright guys, let's get into it.
A woman in West Virginia who was one of Donald Trump's biggest supporters now regrets her vote for Trump because he fired her from the federal government. Just take a look at the clip.
This flag used to hang there.
This was the flag Jennifer Piggott proudly hung outside her home during campaign 2024.
We had the flag. I had the shirt. I was a MAGA junkie.
A MAGA junkie who thought her government job would be safe with Donald Trump in office. She was wrong.
I cried. It's scary, it's a really scary thing. And I was embarrassed.
He's a good boy.
Piggott was abruptly fired last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service, based here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. The reason given for the firings of 125 probationary employees at the Bureau? Poor performance.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do. To cut the knees out of the working class Americans just doesn't make sense to me. I expected more from President Donald Trump.
Since speaking out, Pigott says she's received death threats and her home has been egged.
Yeah, she had her flag out, she wore the t-shirt, she was very much in Donald Trump's corner, and now she regrets it. She would not have voted for Donald Trump again, and you're seeing this sentiment all over the country. There were a lot of people out there who voted for Donald Trump to lower grocery prices or lower gas prices. Now, obviously, that's not happening, and instead, he's firing people from their jobs and destroying the federal government. We are already seeing a lot of regret from Trump voters, and I think that's only going to increase, just like you saw there.
Here's my question to the American people. Who wants Trump impeached? Like, who is fed up with this? I want to know. I want to know in your comments. I want this to get around to your friends and family. Who is sick and tired of being sick and tired of a man that does not put the American people first, who does not care about what happens to us? And I'm tired of seeing all these MAGA freaks out there sitting here saying, I'm proud of my president. What are you proud of? Let me know. Find me. Send this to one of your MAGA friends. Let me know what you're proud of. You're proud of a man who has destroyed this country piece by piece, and he's not even a solid year into this thing. And we're already in turmoil, fuel prices up, inflation up, a war going on he can't get rid of when he sit there and promised us that there'd be no war, cheapest gas in the last 100 years, we would have all these promises, and now you've turned around and you voted for this man that promised us this, but now you people out there also have the nerve to sit here and say, I love my presidents. Are you okay? Let me just ask you again, are you okay? Because that's not smart up here to sit there and say, oh, that's my president, boys. And this man ripping us off every time we turn around, and he's over here making hundreds of millions of dollars of personal income while you're still struggling at the pump because you're just as broke as the next person. But you're still supporting this man. Have some common sense, America.
Donald Trump has tried to fill the holes of most Americans financially, and well, it hasn't gone to plan. New polling has confirmed that for the first time since Donald Trump took office, a majority of Americans now believe that their finances have actually worsened instead of getting better since Donald Trump took office. That's significant. A new Focal Data Financial Times poll confirms that 53% of registered voters in the United States of America feel worse off today than they did under Biden. 57% of those independents believe that they are worse off, and almost a quarter of Republicans feel as though they are worse off. 2/3 polled believe America's economy is heading in the wrong direction, and just 25% say that it is heading in the right direction. Donald Trump was elected primarily to fix America's pocketbooks, to make sure that Americans are keeping more money. It's not happening. Not at all. And Americans are furious heading into the midterm elections where the economy is and will be on the ballot. Spread the word, follow for more.
So you know how the Trump administration is holding all these press conferences and they're like, we're winning, we're bombing ships, we're threatening to go into another country, we're winning so much. Oh, look, this one brown-skinned person has a horrible track record, we're winning. And then MAGA supporters are like, oh my God, all this winning. They're not winning and they're pissed. So here's what Fox News doesn't want you to know. So companies in the United States are taking a huge hit. Let's just focus on BlackRock, okay? The big American finance giant. They just lost $17 billion. Why did they lose $17 billion? Because a giant Dutch pension fund withdrew their investment in BlackRock. Why? Why did they do that? Because BlackRock de-emphasized climate and social justice initiatives to cater to Trump's agenda. And then this pissed off the Trump administration. Morgan Stanley, another financial giant, just undertook a huge study. They pulled a shit ton of individual investors in U.S. companies, and 80% of them said that they want companies like BlackRock and any other companies they choose to invest in to have climate change initiatives. They believe climate change is real. They're upset at all these companies capitulating to this dumbass administration. They believe in climate change. 80% of them. So they're putting their own pressure on companies, withdrawing money, investing elsewhere in companies that have the balls to stand up to this administration. Trump, their administration is not happy. And then here's a big one. Trump is so pissed off, he even posted about it. A Norway wealth fund worth $2 trillion just sold their stake in Caterpillar, U.S. equipment manufacturer Caterpillar. Yep. Just sold all their shares. Why? Because Israel purchases Caterpillar equipment to undertake the big G word. Yeah, Norway divested in a bunch of Israel banks and investments as well for the same reason. This pissed off MAGA so much that Lindsey Graham just went on a tirade. We're going to put even more tariffs on you, Norway, and we're going to revoke, all of your visas to come here and everything like that. They are piss. Meanwhile, other investors are having this conversation across the board. Fox News is not letting you know about this. They have seen a titanic shift of other countries investing in American markets, meaning they're not. They're pulling out. They're not investing in American companies. The U.S. exceptionalism has been single-handedly destroyed by this administration. And other, especially dictator countries are more than happy to step in and fill the gap, and they are. And these investors, U.S. investors, are saying it's not going to return because European stocks, Hong Kong stocks, all these stocks are soaring, and they love it. And now everybody's buying in to other countries' investments, and they're completely bypassing the United States. And the final message that investors are passing around to each other is we have no one who's going to help us. We have to save ourselves. That's a lot of winning.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into today's topic, please don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Imagine voting for a political change because you believe it will improve your life, right? Then finding yourself worried about your job, your bills, and your family financial future. That is the uncomfortable conversation surrounding some MAGA voters who say they are struggling economically. For many Americans, the economy isn't a political talking point. It's personal. It's a personal talk. It begins with a paycheck that pays the rent, right? The grocery bill, the mortgage, and the car payments. Some Trump supporters expected his economic agenda to create more opportunities and strengthen American workers. But when someone loses a job, political promise can suddenly feel very different from reality or what they supported. And here is where we have to be fair. Not every job loss can be blamed on Trump. Businesses make their own decision, right? Industry change, technology eliminates some position, and the economy is influenced by global events and policies from multiple administrations. But voters still have the right to ask a simple question. Is this economy actually working for people like me? That is where political loyalty can get tested. Some might strongly support Trump's immigration policy, trade policies, or other parts of his agenda. But if they are suddenly struggling to pay their bills, they may start looking at the economic picture differently. And that is the interesting part of this story. Will economic pressure change the mind of some Trump supporters or Trump voters? Or will they continue supporting him even when time gets difficult? What matters more to you when choosing a president? The economy, immigration, job, or something else? What matters more to you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And please don't forget to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your notification for more political commentaries, economic discussion, and real conversation about what is happening in the world and America. Once again, thanks for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye. Love ya. Mwah.